good morning.
Good afternoon.
You look fresh.
Yeah, I try. I'm not completely worn out yet. It's been great. It's been a beautiful day. We had quite a long night, but we're hanging in there.
So there's still gonna be a Saturday evening.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You mean Sunday?
Are you staying here till Monday?
I'm actually here till Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You're gonna come back a different man.
I hope so.
Right. So, how do you like Lithuania so far?
It's been great.
It's all good? You've tried our food?
Tried the food, had the drinks, met some great people. So I got here on Wednesday. I had a couple of days before the convention. I got to meet with the U.S. Embassy here, had some great conversations, met some disability rights leaders here in Lithuania and around the country here, and it's I love architecture. I love history and you know.
Are you a museum guy?
I am.
Well, too bad we don't have any.
I heard y'all have a couple.
Well, we have a couple, but it's not. Our national museum is like 2 muskets and a painting of a guy who no one knows.
No, like for me, I like churches. I like old, like I like the city. You know, the old town and kind of the community.
You like castles?
Love castles.
We have a great castle in Trakai, just 30 kilometers.
That's why my family. So I'm here with my mom and my sister and my grandmother and my girlfriend, and they all went out and checked out the castles, and they showed me. I got to see photos.
You missed out. You missed out. It's a great castle.
No, I didn't miss out because I'm here with y'all. So I got to live it. They got to live it. I got to live with y'all. So.
That's a good comeback.
Yeah.
All right, so, sir, if you ask anyone, pretty much anyone, to name their 3 favorite TV show series of all time, Breaking Bad will definitely be in there. Like, the other 2 are optional. But Breaking Bad, yeah, that's it. Everyone loves Breaking Bad. You are a lucky guy, and we're so lucky to have you. Thank you so very much for coming.
No, I'm very lucky to be here today and to be at this convention with all you. And you know, Breaking Bad was lightning in a bottle. It was one of those things that was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it didn't just change other people, but changed us so much when it came to what we do and what we get to see and how we make our movies and shows and our passions, and you know, having a project that you love, you know, that's something that when you work with conventions, everyone here is very passionate about the arts. They're passionate about the community that we have here, and you know, you don't always see that. And sometimes in film and television, people are like sometimes miserable, but with Breaking Bad, we were so excited to work on this amazing show. The writing, the crew, the cast, everyone behind it was 100% behind it, and that is unique.
Well, was really everyone behind it? Because is it true that they wanted to cancel Breaking Bad because it was just too goddamn expensive?
I guess everyone wasn't really behind it, but the right people were. But yeah, it is true. It is true, you know. It wasn't so much that it was just expensive. We didn't have ratings in the beginning. You know,
the first season didn't get ratings.
We had ratings. We had decent views, but there's a cap. So for a lot of TV shows, it's not the same like it used to be, because we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have these streaming services. When I first started, they didn't exist. It was only network.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Who remembers Blockbuster? Or a Redbox? They're still around somewhere. But we didn't have the accessibility. We didn't have the ability to just go on my phone and watch everything for $10 a month, right? Well, $20 a month. And so people watched it, but the stigma behind the show with the content of methamphetamine was very negative. And the way it works structurally a lot of times is your first season, your pilot episode, you have to have at least 500,000 views. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but back then it was, because we didn't have the ability to record it. And then the season had to have 1 million or 2 million views, and then every season after that had to double. So the first season had 1 million views, the second season had to have 3 million views, and the third season had to have 6 million, and so on and so forth. And we didn't have it. But what we did have was people believing in the show. When the money people are like, you're expensive and you don't have views, we're not going to fund you. We had our network heads, Charlie Collier from AMC and other entities from Sony, and people going like, no, this show needs to live. Like, we need to keep this show. This is bigger than money. This is bigger than views. This is something more. And they're like, do whatever you want. and
Fine. Keep the show.
Keep the show. Don't cancel it. And but like every season, there was a rumor, and they were talking about like there would not be another season. There would not be that next episode, that next season, or minimizing funding, and they rallied behind it. They believed in it and fought for it. And most network execs don't do that. They don't. It's very rare.
It's a business.
It's a dollar amount. It's not always about the art. And in that instant, it was about the art. It wasn't about the dollar. And so that's truly special when it comes to that. And I think that's why the show is what it is today, is because it wasn't just the people on the ground believing in the project. It was the people that made the decisions, that promoted it, that created it, that were like, no, we're keeping this. We're going to make it great. We're going to love it. We're going to make it the best show in the history of television.
Probably. It's not that outrageous at all to say that. It's not.
A little bit.
It's not. It's not. It's not though. Like, I think it's one of, well, it's easily top 5.
Yeah.
Maybe number 1. It's subjective.
Subjective. You know, I actually never watched Breaking Bad. I've read it. It's a great read. I don't know if anyone likes reading, read Breaking Bad. It's a great book.
There's the saying that people who make sausages usually don't eat them.
Yeah, because we know it's in them.
Exactly. So you're from Mississippi, Jacksonville?
No, I have a very convoluted growing up story. So I was born in Mississippi. I was born in Jacksonville, Mississippi. And I grew up between Louisiana and Texas. I'm adopted. And adopted at birth, and my family are very close, but one side of my family is from Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm sure some of y'all might know, but I'm sure y'all have heard of New Orleans, where I was not too far.
We have a guy playing in New Orleans.
Yeah?
Yeah, Jonas Valanciunas. He plays for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
He's the main center of Pelicans. Come on. Oh, we started off on such a great note, and you don't. That's it.
It's just gone.
Let's call it a day.
I guess I should leave?
Yeah, please.
But yeah, so, and then I lived in California for 15 years. So the way that I got into acting, my sister, who's actually here with me in Lithuania, like here, I had to specify the country, but she got cast at a water park when she was 1 year old, and an agent saw her and was, you remember Lucille Ball, right? Do y'all remember? I Love Lucy. It was a show back in long time ago. She has bright red hair, and they were like, "Oh, we're doing a campaign for Lucille Ball. We'd love to use her for a baby Lucille." And at the time, my mom was busy with work, and things were happening, and we were like, "We could use a vacation. You're going to pay for the trip, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll cover everything. We'll send you to LA for 6 months. We'll use her a couple of times, and then take photos, but enjoy. We'll give you." It was at Universal Studios in Los Angeles. And they're like, "We'll give you park pass, and y'all go to see the parks and stuff." And 6 months turned into 15 years. And
that's how it usually.
How it goes, right?
Yeah, but you're not homeless, so not the usual story.
Not today.
15 years, right? So, and you decided to get into acting because was there a plan B?
Yeah, get a job.
like what they call in the
a real job
in the business is survival job.
Yeah. The cost, standing on the corner flipping a sign.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know.
The elite job.
The elite. Well, so I grew up with my family being farmers and like ranchers, and so I grew up in a very forest nature environment. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I really love Lithuania so much. Is it's very foresty and very green and lush. And so my uncle is actually a professional fisherman.
Professional fisherman.
Yeah.
That is a very southern thing.
Very southern. So one side of my family is Cajun, and the other side of my family is Texan. So can't get any more southern than that. So that was my fallback. Was I would be a fisherman.
You were supposed to be a professional fisherman.
I was supposed to.
Nice.
Yeah.
You would be a world famous professional bass fisher.
I mean, I don't know about world, but definitely something. But no, I went to LA though to meet. I just started acting to meet kids my own age. You know, like if you live in a big city and you don't go to school, and like in Los Angeles, if you don't go to school, you don't join a gang, and you don't act, you're not gonna know anyone. You're not gonna make friends. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're here for acting?" No. Are you from here? No. Like, do you go to school here? No. Then why are you here? and I was around 12 years old, and I started acting. I did acting classes and working as an extra on like Hannah Montana, Everybody Hates Chris, Weeds, Seventh Heaven, and so when I first started, I was on like 13 different shows and movies as an extra. And are there anyone trying to act in the room? Any actors in here? No? Cool.
Yeah.
Good. I don't take my job.
Go get a real job.
Yeah.
Lazy.
But so I just was doing it to meet people, you know, to have friends, and I made a lot of friends, and then I just kept auditioning and working, and it kept growing, and then I got this amazing opportunity to audition for this very little show called Breaking Bad, and it changed my life. But one of my very first auditions was an anti-meth campaign for the U.S. for Los Angeles because of this epidemic of methamphetamine was happening and still is happening in many places, and that was my very first audition. I did not get the role, but
what were your lines?
It was like the scene was me and my mom and my brother and sister, and my father comes in and he's screaming and yelling and like just like throwing things and like it's like amphetamines dangerous for like the family, and it was more like just like in fear, and
Wow.
and so it was really wild. And then 6 months later, I auditioned for 6 months, like a year later, I auditioned for Breaking Bad.
So, from your very start, from your very first audition to getting the part in Breaking Bad, is just a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is not normal.
That is not normal.
That
The
is not
auditioning, the whole process is a vicious
Very
process.
So when you'll go to an audition and you're talking from anywhere from 100 to 1,000 people going for one role, you know, and with Breaking Bad, I auditioned 5 times.
Do you meet those people? Like, are there?
Oh, you're face to face.
Do you sit in a room with
like
5 guys that just look exactly like you?
Exactly like me. Literally.
How weird is it to sit in a room with 5 of yous?
See, well, that's not the weird part. What's weird is when you walk into a room and there's 5 of them and you're the one that looks different. You're like, I am not getting this. It's like you walk in and everyone is definitely not.
Oh, so
you are not the person.
Oh, so that's what they were looking for. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey guys, do you get like these, like when people that are auditioning, they try to hurt the other people's chances to get the part. What are the most usual, like the most popular technologies of ruining someone's day?
A lot of times is they'll literally like just keep talking to you.
Oh, like passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive, like they'll just constantly ask you questions. Like it's like, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And so they've been there for a while, right? They've waited, they prepared their thing, so they're gonna distract you while you're you'll be reading your stuff, and they'll just keep going at you, so you can't.
Is it just to distract you, for you not to be able to prepare, or for you to start questioning the material?
Both. That doesn't happen like it used to. You know, most auditions now are online.
Yeah, that's what I heard. You just send in the tape.
Send in the tape, do it, and hope for the best. It used to be you would have 15 guys in a room, or 15 guys and girls in a room, and everyone just sitting there with our scripts and just working on it, and they call your name and you go in and you do your thing and you leave. And there's like a lot of times what would happen, there's a roster, right? You go in, you sign your name, you put your time in of when you walked in, and then you put your time when you walk out, and a lot of people would like. Sometimes I was very lucky. I didn't really dealt with. I only had one other person that I would see who would try to distract me from what I was trying to do.
Intimidate you.
Intimidate but like not intimidate, but just like constantly like talking at me and I'm working on this. He goes, oh no. Hey, here's a tip. Here's a secret.
Oh, here's a tip is the wonderful. Yeah. This one's a good one.
Yeah. Hey, you know, you should really do this in an audition. I was like, yeah. Or it happened.
Try to guess where that guy is right now.
Not here.
He's still in that room.
Still in that room. Never left. But you know, I do try to, as much as it's a hard business, acting and entertainment. It's not an easy job. It's definitely time consuming. It's costly. It's not cheap to do, and really it's you. You know, it's you who has to create these characters, and at the end of the day, it's you who the people see, and so you have to really have not let it corrupt you, not let it devalue you, and really try to maintain who you are because you get whisked away very quickly in this industry of like lights and everything, you know, and admiration, and so it's one of those things where it's like you gotta remember to be gracious and be humble and focus on your craft and your work and evolve that, you know.
There are a lot of stories of people just get the taste of the glory.
Yeah.
And then you're out.
Yeah.
And
really,
it's really hard. I think it would be really hard to keep sanity.
Very. Who said I'm sane?
Well, it's not over for you. You're just climbing up.
No.
You're up and coming still.
Still working at it. Still pushing forward. You know, I love what I do. I enjoy my craft. I enjoy my art. You know, again, it's continuing to grow. It was hard with the pandemic for filmers and filmmakers to keep working, but we're back at it again, making movies and making shows, and you know, that's really special to have had that break, or really it wasn't so much of a break, but have that time of like, no, I really want to push back into it and get it going, and the world's kind of getting back to normal now, and
yeah,
and create projects.
How many times did you audition for Breaking Bad? How many auditions did you have? 5.
5 over 6 months.
5 over 6 months.
So my first audition happened. I didn't hear anything for like 2 months. 2 months later, they say, "Hey."
Forgot about it?
Forgot about it. And this is the thing, and this goes with job interviews or anything. It's like, don't dwell on it. You go in, you do your best, you present yourself, and you leave, and you just go to the next one, right? And so I get this call 2 months later, they're like, "Hey, so they're still casting the part, and they want you to come back in." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, awesome." Pulled back out and was reading it and went in again, and another couple of weeks went by, and they're like, "Hey, they want you to come back in for a third time." And I was like, "Oh, amazing." And,
was that the point were hopes were starting to get little up?
I'm like, I might get this. Maybe.
Did you know that it's a big show?
No. You know,
what was the information by the third callback? What was the information that you possessed at the moment about the show?
The first episode.
You knew about the first episode. You knew
I
the plot.
The whole first episode.
Oh, right.
And so my character description it's really funny. So my only character description when I first started auditioning was dark hair, big eyebrows, and mild cerebral palsy. That was it.
Check.
I got them all. I was like, yeah. I got this, and then 2 months went by. And then like maybe not. And so I go to my third audition, and I'm like, they're like, it's you versus 2 other people. Like, I got told that through some information, and I was like, okay, so I'm towards the end of this. I might get this job, and this was my very first big speaking role. This was like I hadn't really worked that much, you know. I was an extra on shows. I was in acting classes. I was 13 years old, you know. It wasn't I didn't know it would turn into this. We all didn't know it would turn into this. And so the 4th audition came up, and they said, "Okay, great. We have a plane. You're flying to New Mexico. We need you to go meet the creator and do a test run with people to see how it worked." And so I auditioned one day. They're like, "Go pack your bag. You're flying out at 6 a.m. I flew out of Los Angeles to New Mexico, to Albuquerque, New Mexico at 6 a.m. I got to New Mexico. I from the airport went straight to the hotel. I did my audition. Before I even went upstairs, to my room, and
Did they fly you out alone?
I was with my mother.
Right.
I was with my mother, and I met Vince, I met Anna, I met Brian. I did a scene with them, an audition. There was one other person they were seeing as well. So we passed each other. We're like looking at each other, going like, "Hey." And I walked up to my room and I went to sleep. And I got the phone call about 2 hours later, and they're like, "Okay, you have the role." They're like, it was Vince. Vince was like, "Hey, RJ, yeah, I wanted to tell you, welcome to the project, welcome aboard." And they're like, "So go back to LA and turn right back around because we're already filming." They were already, when I was the very last person to be cast. I was the last person to be cast.
Last one aboard.
Last but not least, and I missed the cast dinner. They were already filming the whole show, and so I flew right back to LA the same day. So I flew in at 6. I left at 6. I went back to LA. I packed my bag. I came back the next day to New Mexico, and started a project that changed my life forever.
Was it, well, it was a good read, as you say, but...
A great read.
But as you read the first episode, as you read the first season, what was your, like, impression? What were your expectations? Did you realize at that moment that, oh shit, this is going to be huge? No? You just thought that this is going to be one of them shows about drugs?
Yeah. Well, and at the time there wasn't many shows like this. There was a lot of stigmas around Breaking Bad and the content behind it.
The Wire was already out, right?
The Wire was out, The Sopranos were out, but there wasn't really a like that type of intensity content when it came to specific drugs. Like The Wire had action and stuff like that, but it wasn't like a drug show. They weren't supplying and demanding, and so like we had people who were very negative about the show when it came to they said glorifying making the
yeah, that makes sense.
And we weren't though, really. You saw a man lose everything over the generation of this series, where he lost his family, he lost his home, he lost his life. And
but is it fair to evaluate it like that? Meaning, like, it's art. If it's art, it doesn't have to be politically correct. It has to be it has to be pushing the boundaries.
Yes, no. Everyone has a right to an opinion.
Absolutely.
And what they believe, and so it's like, did I see it that way? No, no one on the show saw it that way. We saw it as a storytelling adventure, as a family man trying to leave his family.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. And what was very special about the show is this is in 2008. This is in the market crash. This is
yeah.
People are losing their homes. They're losing their jobs. They're doing what it takes to provide that for their family, and so it was a show that echoed in the community and echoes around the world because we still have a lot of people that are struggling, that are trying to make it, right? That are having the 4 jobs to pay rent and pay for kids and pay for school and putting themselves out there and doing what is necessary. And sometimes that's not always good. Sometimes there's a very famous saying. It's about when good men have to do bad things, and that's when times get scary, and that's when someone's the most dangerous. And it happens, it happens in reality. And I think Breaking Bad really captured the truth of a lot of people, and
did resonate a lot with a lot of demographics.
Yeah.
Aaron has his famous catchphrase. He's walking around just saying "yo bitch" all over.
Yeah.
Do you ever wish that, or do you have?
Wish I could say yo bitch.
Well, that one's taken.
Uh,
Would you like to have your own catchphrase like that?
I mean, I kind of did.
I'm home. I don't know.
No. you just really answered my question. I'm good. Aaron can keep his catchphrase. No, you know, my character did have a couple of statements. Like, so sorry children out there, I do get people to ask me to call them a pussy.
Yeah, that's right.
It is very awkward. And then I get people that
Is it weird?
It's a little weird. I feel bad about it, and like people are like, no, say it to me. And I'm like, yeah. and I feel like no, but I see people ask Aaron all the time, like when I hang out with him, and it's not very often, you know. Everyone has lives, but when I see Aaron out in public and stuff, I hear people yell "yo bitch" all the time.
That's his life now.
That's his life now. Everywhere he goes,
just a bunch of yo bitches.
Just a bunch of yo bitches.
When was the first time you got like seriously recognized on a street? Do you remember the first time when someone went like, "Oh my God, this is"? Yeah,
I mean it was quite a few years ago, and you know, at the time in the beginning of the show, people really didn't recognize me because of the crutches. My character using crutches. A lot of people don't expect me to walk.
That's right.
Like a lot, I would find like the majority of people think I am. So I do have cerebral palsy, right? I do have what Walt Jr. has. I've lived with it. I grew up with it. I've worked on it. I still continue to work and grow with it. And so people don't expect to see me upright.
You're a cheater.
You're a cheater. But I do remember the first time I was significantly recognized as Walt Jr. And it was actually at Comic Con. And it was kind of the first time people saw the show as pop culture. You know, there was a lot of people that Breaking Bad was out for 4 years before people really recognized it. And I was at a Comic Con in San Diego at the
Comic Con.
The Comic Con.
Oh.
And it was kind of the first time we all experienced the wave of Breaking Bad.
Was it the Comic Con where Brian went out with a Brian mask on?
Mask on, yeah.
That's a great story.
That was like our first one.
Nice.
Or actually, sorry, no, it wasn't that one. That was the second. We went back. The first one, it was kind of just a phenomenon. We didn't really know what we were getting into. The second time, we did the gimmicks and the things. But I remember walking into a room of like, I wanted to say it, over 8,000 people, and the roar, it was truly like frightening. It was scary.
The adrenaline rush.
The adrenaline instant.
To get the shakes.
It's just gone. You could do nothing. You could just stand there and be like, wow, this show had an impact. People love it. Because we didn't know, you know. Social media was very new, very young at the time, and
Facebook was created in 2008.
Yeah.
So
Breaking Bad came out in 2000.
It was the dawn of social media.
It was.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We had MySpace.
MySpace.
That's it.
AOL.
Not in Lithuania. In Lithuania, we had one LT.
What?
One LT. The best social media site ever.
Yeah.
On MySpace, I did have a. Did you have a MySpace?
I still have MySpace.
You
I don't go on it, but I have it.
Is it still like functional?
You know, MySpace is coming back.
Really?
It's mostly with music, though.
I'll look you up on the. Let me hit you up on MySpace.
Oh my God! Don't.
That is a phrase that has not been said
Ever.
in well,
years.
at least 20. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's no. Don't pull that out. 13-year-old RJ Mitty with a MySpace.
RJ Mitty, MySpace.
You're gonna hear the Tokyo Drift song on there.
Yes, MySpace. No.
No?
It doesn't come up in the first page.
Good.
Even.
That's for the best.
That is for the best. But maybe some sad poems from when you were 13.
I still have those now. But anyways, let's move away from MySpace. We don't need to go back in the past.
We can't because those are our sponsors. We have just kidding.
MySpace is great then.
War. MySpace is war.
But that was going back to the very first time like experiencing that was Comic Con was an event like this, because we just didn't have that outreach, and again it was unbelievable.
What was the after this whole journey of Breaking Bad, when did you know that the next season will be the last one?
I mean, to be honest, every season felt like
Was supposed to be
our last one. Every season we were told, "You're not coming back," and we're like, "What do you mean?" And some people would be like, "You're not coming back," with a wink, and then but like again, every season could have been our last season, and Vince Gilligan, our creator, really fought for an ending. And he in season 5 was season A and B, and so that was, people would say season 5 and 6, but really 5 and 6 were only one season supposed to be, and so that was part A and part B, and he was like, I need for me to make an ending. He's like, the show has to have an ending. I cannot end this show and not have it come full circle. And so he made it a conscious decision on being like, this is the last season. And then he creates Better Call Saul.
Yeah, and it's actually a great show.
Yeah.
It's a spin-off, one of the better spin-offs that, but I love spin-offs. Like I loved when Friends had Joey.
Yeah.
I love Joey.
Joey's great. I like Joey too, but Bob Odenkirk.
Excuse me?
Saul Goodman.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
Amazing.
He's one of those. He was during the Breaking Bad. He was one of those unsung heroes.
Yeah.
Like everyone had their favorites, but there was this guy.
He was my favorite. He was actually like Brian Heisenberg. Brian. I mean, I looked at them more like parents. You know, and you don't always like your parents. Like you don't like look at them always like oh, but the lawyer, like and Gustavo Fring, and I looked at those people like, oh my God, they have the best parts, like, cause like they're just these badasses, like doing crazy things, and like and for me, like Brian's character was like amazingly badass. But my character doesn't see that, you know. That's my dad, that's my mom. Those are my everyday people, and so when I got to work with Bob Odenkirk, I'm like, yes,
finally,
let's
do some nasty stuff.
Let's get me out of jail.
Let's talk about your. How'd you get the part in Triumph?
So for some people that don't know, I have a movie called Triumph. It's about high school wrestling, Olympic style wrestling, Greco-Roman style wrestling.
It's based on a true person, and I love the movies that are based on true story. That is, those are my favorites.
Well, those are my favorites to create, because you're not just making a movie, you're making a dream. This was a dream of this man to create this project, to be this project. And it was truly remarkable to be able to have it. And I got approached 7 years ago to create this project. I was working on another project based on a true story of a man with muscular dystrophy. And sorry. No, I'm good right now. It hit me for a second, the water. But I was creating this movie called Who's Driving Doug? And it was about a story. The writer, producer, creator had muscular dystrophy. He was in a wheelchair. And I was working on that project with him. And that was really about his life, too, and his journey. And it was about this character with muscular dystrophy going to Vegas and living a life that he wanted to live. And I knew one of the producers who was working on creating Triumph, and they said, "We love what you're doing with this. We would like you to come be a part of this movie." And it's very similar when it comes to real life experiences, diversity, disability, inclusion, and we believe that you could really make this project great. And I was like, yeah, I read this story, and I was like, this is a project that needs to get made. This is a project with heart, and that can change perception. You know, it's so important to create projects like this, because TV, film, mass media has an amazing role in society, in a global mindset, and it's something that people don't realize is we have something in common. I may not be from Lithuania, I may be from the southern U.S., but we all have a commonality across the world, across the sea. And that's we like art, we like TV, we share the same shows and movies, and then it's like, who likes Fight Club? Yeah, I love like
movie or
the movie, the book, and the book. But like, so it's like we all have these commonalities of our lives. We're all trying to achieve the same thing, and media and TV helps share that with each other. And it doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter where you come from, rich or poor. It's irrelevant. We have the same common interest. You know, we have the same. We're like, that's a great movie. That's a great show, and it helps change mindsets. It helps show our humanity. And so, creating projects like Triumph and others to highlight diversity and experiences that you may not experience, you know. A lot of people don't ever encounter individuals with disabilities. I've met numerous people over the years that you're my first person I've ever met with a disability, and I thought it was something different, you know. I thought it was a negative, and it's like showing positive reinforcement makes a very big difference. And so creating Triumph is about a young man with cerebral palsy based in the 80s, where the world viewed him very differently, where society wasn't like, you're disabled, you're sick, you can't wrestle, you're going to get hurt, and it's not true. It's a lie. And he's like, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be, and doing it. You know, it's really about doing it. not taking no as an answer and being like, if I want to achieve this goal, I can, and that's the message I believe Triumph gives. And, you know, I grew up with a mentality of can't is a decision. So I have cerebral palsy, right? I'm technically, in some people's view, disabled. People see that, and that's their view. To me, I have knowledge about something that no one else does, and the abilities that my disability gave me to overcome through physical therapy and occupational therapy and speech therapy. To most people be like, oh, you can't have a normal job, you can't have a normal life, and why can't I? Why can't I do this? And my
just to protect you.
Yeah, and the thing was, is it wasn't my family doing that, it was other people doing that. And my family was like, you want to go do it? You go do that. You want to play football? You want to play baseball? You want to play soccer? Like, you go do that. Will I be the best at it? Maybe not. But you know.
Well, yeah, maybe an NBA contract is not on the table.
No.
Then again, no one on that team is ever going to become a professional basketball player. Just have fun then.
It's to have fun and to experience things.
Yeah, we have those same holes in Lithuanian educational system as well. We don't, well, not necessarily know how to, you know, everyone just gets disoriented whenever a topic comes up. Like, oh shit, this is, oh no, I gotta go.
I gotta go, yeah. You know, people are afraid of it, you know. I think there's a lot of aspects of our own mortality or weaknesses that we see when we're like, oh, that person has a disability. Oh, no. But really, it's knowledge. You know, having a disability really teaches you a lot of things on what you truly are capable of, given limited resources, given perceptions on you. And so it's an opportunity, though, to prove those perceptions as incorrect. It's like, you think I am this person, but really I am capable of so much more. And it's like, when I was a kid, I wore braces on my legs, and I wore casts on my legs, and I didn't walk the same, I didn't talk the same. People would be like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with me.
That is a great question. Hey, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, as a kid, I would get asked that a lot.
You've heard that question?
Yeah, I heard that question. I'd be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Why do you look like that? Why?
Oh shit.
But
Hey, why do you?
But that's actually very common. I know it's weird to hear someone you. Personally, I would never ask that question unless someone's like zonked out of their mind, be like, what's wrong with you? But individuals with disabilities, a lot of people are like, no, they excommunicate that. They're like, what's wrong with that person? They're like, oh no, we're not going to be involved with that. We're not going to look at that person. And it's something that through media we can help educate people, we can help show people and get people involved, because there's a lot of people who never had experiences with individuals with disabilities.
That is a great way to educate people, through great movies, because we as a species not necessarily are very keen on learning per se, like, because it's hard work.
Yeah.
And movies are entertainment, so this is probably the best way. Well, not the best way, but the best way
to start.
At the persisting circumstances.
You know, it's like I can go and I can tell you about cerebral palsy and the neurological condition and what it affects and how it does and all these things. But boring. No one unless you are truly interested in learning about it, you don't really care. It's just a lot of people just don't really care.
Right.
And not just about disability, but just in general. They just don't care. And so the best way to get people to care is to make it entertaining and fun and show a truth. You know, just tell a story and bring that story to life. And with media, you're not just doing it one-on-one. You're doing it with hundreds of thousands of millions of people around the world that see this and go, oh, that makes sense. It's like, okay, I understand that now, versus never knowing.
Oh, so that's what's wrong with him.
That's what's wrong with him. Yes, that's what's wrong with me.
RJ, you're a even greater guy than I thought. Thank you.
He's lying.
I'm not lying. You're a great guy. We appreciate so much for you to come to Lithuania. Thank you so very much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.